Hi there, my sweet friends. I hope you are all doing well. Welcome to day 8 of our 12 Days of Christmas in July series. If you're just joining in, you can check the top of the description for links for the first 7 days. And if you're new around here, welcome. I hope you will consider hitting that subscribe button to join my crafty little family. I am so excited to be sharing my project for today. I'm collaborating with the amazing Erica from Diva Designs. Not only is she super sweet and nice, she is so full of positive energy and is an insanely talented designer, and her shop is chock full of fabulous die sets that she has generously sent me some to create with. I'm playing with 2 of the sets today to create my project, but she also sent me a set to share with my peeps. So thank you so much for that, Erica. That is so kind of you. Make sure you stay tuned throughout the video for the question of the day and for details on how we can get you entered for your chance to win. I've got this winter collection from Echo Park to create with today, and I'm using that 12 by 12 collection kit, and I'm also going to utilize quite a few of the stickers from the cardstock sticker sheet as my layering elements. So this is a really great collection for us people who live in the Northeast, because our winter season extends well beyond the holiday season. So I can get use out of this much further than just Christmas. Here's my pop-up card die set from Diva Designs. And this is really so awesome for people who love to make envelopes and want to make some with printed paper, because once you start scoring and folding printed paper, you inevitably will wind up with patterns upside down or backwards. And so this really takes all of that trouble out of the equation, because you're going to use these separate dies to create the layering element. So of course you've got the larger one for the background. It has a beautiful scalloped edge as well as a stitching detail. There is a inset piece, so you can cut the base with your cardstock and then move into your pattern paper. That's going to give you all those really nice borders. And then because it's a pop-up card, it does have those pieces on the side that will fold in. That's where you get your dimension from. There is a piece that will go in the middle that you can use to adhere different layers of elements so that you get the full 3D pop-up effect. I'm going to use this in a different way for my cards today, and I'm just going to create a box rather than a pop-up. And so this is still useful even if I'm using it for a different purpose. The remaining portions of this now are going to be the front of the envelope section. And so you would cut this with your cardstock. And here is where you would cut your pattern paper. And because you have this cutting all from one section, you're going to get all those patterns going right side up, which is so perfect. Now, this die set does come with some additional add-ons, and I'm not going to use those for today's project, but I think these are really cool. I really love those hearts, and I will definitely utilize those closer to Valentine's Day. I'm also going to use the scallop stitch heart bow set. This was really fun to create with. There's 2 different sizes in here, and so it does look like a lot, but it is for 2 different sets. So it's pretty easy to get these all sorted and use them with the appropriate size. And so it comes with that scallop edge again, a little bit of heart detail and the stitching. And what's nice is the smaller sections that you can cut your pattern paper and layer that on. So you're going to get a truly layered effect. And it was really easy to put them together. And for my purpose, I decided to finish the center with some loopy twine bow and a jingle bell, just because this is kind of a Christmassy project, but the hearts on there will definitely help to extend the use of this set into further seasons. So those are the dies that I'm going to work with today. I have one more that I'm not sharing until I have a project for it, but keep an eye out for that coming soon. And then this is the set that she sent me so that we could have a giveaway with my peeps. And this is so cute, a 3D sand bucket. What could be more fun for summer projects? There is all kinds of layering elements here, and it is obviously dimensional because you can cut these 2 sides and add them together. So I think this will be really fun, and I'm looking forward to having this as part of our giveaway. I'm going to need a base to add those pop-up card envelopes to, and so I am going to start with 2 sheets of 110-pound cardstock, and they measure 6 high by 7.5 wide and scored at 1 1/4. And I have added some double-sided tape to this side. This is definitely a place for your 2-glue combo, so you definitely want this to be very secure. And I'll just lay those pieces together, overlapping the scored section. So I'm creating a much wider piece, and also this center area will have 2 layers. I think that really helps to make this more sturdy. So I want to add an additional layer to the front and back cover as well. So I have my pieces here are cut to be 6 high by 12 wide and scored at 6. And this is just basically going to wrap around. Not only will that allow us to bring in a little more sturdiness, but it's going to give us a nice finish edge on the side where it will be most noticeable. So let's just lay that right into that corner, right along the score line. And then I'll flip it and adhere the other side with the combination of double-sided tape along with my Tombow. So now I'm going to repeat that process and cover the back with that extra layer. Okay, now that we have our cover all nicely reinforced, I do want to add some pattern paper to the spine. And if you do this now, you will thank me later, because it is much easier to get these pieces on when you can have your project flat onto the table. So I'm obviously choosing a blue cardstock to go with my collection. And for these spine pieces, my cardstock is cut to be 5 7/8 high by 1 1/8 wide, and the pattern paper is 5 3/4 by 1 inch, and that gives me the border of the cover along with the border of the cardstock. And to do that for both sides, I also want to finish the back with that beautiful collection paper. So for these full-size pages, my cardstock is going to measure 5 7/8 high by 5 7/8 wide, and the pattern paper is going to be 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and that will be the same throughout. So I've got same combination for the inside pages as well. And as you can imagine, with all of these layers of the cardstock and collection papers, it is getting very nice and thick and sturdy. I really love this combination of the large blue with the snowflake and then the wood grain paired in between. I think that really warms it up a little. For the inside pages, I'm going to bring in an additional layering element, and so I have just cut my wood grain to be more of a border strip here along the outside, and I will repeat that process over on this side as well. So I'm going to just set this aside while we continue working along, and I want to begin working on our pop-up card portion. So here is that background that is cut from my blue cardstock, and I have the sides remaining on this. I am going to make one change here. This was the portion that would go in between the layers. You see how the flaps would keep the proper spacing so that you could add the elements and have it look like 3D. Well, I trimmed those off and I scored what was left to have the perfect width now, but it has a 1/2 inch depth, which is the same as on the side. So I want to adhere this onto the back, and I position that right along my score line, and I kept the edges right alongside the score lines on the background die. Now what I want to do is add my pattern to the background here. And so I'm going to use a combination of the same pattern paper, but I'll use the A and B side. So for the larger background piece, I have the larger pattern. This is an all over pattern. And so I think that looks best when you don't cut it down too small. And you can see you get that beautiful stitch detail showing all the way around. Now I have the portion that will become the front of the pocket. And so I have adhered my double-sided tape here along with the top of the folded section that will create the depth for our box. I think it might be a good idea to go ahead and get that 2 glue combo again, at least just for the sides, and be very careful and mindful that you don't use too much so it doesn't squeeze out. I'm going to add it to my scored portion and then bring it up and adhere it to the sides, keeping the edges all lined up. That double tape and glue combo will work well to hold this in place while the glue sets up. Okay, so rather than having a 3D pop-up portion, we now have a small box. So I think you could easily see this as a treat holder or maybe some hot cocoa and some little mini marshmallows, but I enjoy snacks and I have poor impulse control, so I did not purchase treats for this. We're just going to use it for tags. Now the fun part is decorating the front with that layering pattern. And like I said, this is the B-side of that, and so I know these are going to coordinate really well. And this is easy to get positioned. Just get your first piece on, measuring from the center, getting it even along that portion, and then use that to guide you for the remaining pieces. So these are going to go right along here, and you'll get that really sweet border of your cardstock showing all the way around. So let's bring back our base and start to position these so that we can have the inside decorated as well. I have 2 created for this project, and as you can see, I went ahead and did a little bit further embellishing on this one, but I just wanted to show you the placement of these. So what I want to do is have these staggered slightly because I want to bring in another large element, and so I want to make sure that I have enough room at the top. My plan is to have this well supported at the top and the bottom so that it will hold its shape well. So this is another place where you definitely want to consider your 2 glue combo. This is going to have inserts added, and so it's going to get a little bit heavy. You want to make sure it is well secured and staying in place. Just flip that over, and I want to make sure to have a little bit of extra room showing of our pattern paper on the bottom as well. And once I have that positioned, I'll just put my hand right down in there and really press that in so that it's got a good contact. And for this one, I'm going to position it closer to the center, and I'll just repeat that same process with the 2 glues. Okay, now I need to create some additional layers for the top so that it will be well supported, and that is where those cute little bows are going to come in. Remember, I mentioned that scallop stitch heart bow set, and so I did create these with offcuts, so that was really nice. And I'm going to position these here, and it's okay with me if they hang over the side just a little, but I'm going to make sure that when the book is closed that it's taking up basically the same amount of space as the depth of the pocket. So I'm just adding that one here, and then I'll do the same thing for this side. And you can see how when this is closed, it's going to support the top of the book. Now that we have pockets, you do want to put something in them. And as I mentioned, you could put treats, but you could also put some inserts. And this would be a really fun way, I think, to make this more for memory keeping. You could also put gift cards in there. I took the portion that cut the background pattern paper and I clipped my collection paper with that. So for each of the pockets, there are 3. For 2 of them, I left them the full length. For 2 of them, I cut 1/2 inch off, and that gave me this length. And then for the other 2, I cut a full inch off. And so now I'm going to be able to stagger my layers so you can see them all at the same time. And I think this is plenty of room on the back here to add some pictures and journaling. To further embellish my tags, I added some of these stickers from the sticker sheet. I popped those up on a spacer just so that I could build in dimension. I also worked in some sweet little glittery stars here and die cut foliage and some flowers. For the inside, I did finish these with just some brads that had a little bit of extra sparkle. And so as I work along, I've just got different combinations of those flowers. They all are going to have 3 of star stickers. And then for the front one, I just left it with the stickers because I wanted to make sure to leave room for a larger image. And so when they are nested together, I alternated the A and the B side so that it would be a definite layering pattern. And I can just tuck that right into my pocket. And the extra dimension from those flowers, because they're shaped, fills that box in very well, and so they will hold that in place. If you wanted to add additional tags and further fill this with your memory keeping, then maybe just add flowers that don't have dimension worked into them. And so here are the 3 for my other side, and they are all similarly designed to work the same way. And then I'll just tuck this down into the box. Now I can add some additional details, and I think it would be fun just to tuck in a couple extra star stickers. So let's just pull a couple here and arrange them so that they kind of create a nice balance over the book. So I'll put that large one here at the bottom and then move it to the medium one on this side. I think I can also include some sequins here. I like to work those in groups of 3, and I will adhere them with my Tombow. This is a really good time for the question of the day. Share with the peeps, what is your favorite die set from Scrap Diva Designs shop? We will leave a link at the top of the description so you can hop over there and check it out. I have picked the pop-up card and the bow set, so you can choose from any of the remaining sets and let us know your favorite down in the comments below. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off this other page with the same exact details so that we create a nice balance. Okay, so the last finishing detail for this is to add more of those stickers. Remember I mentioned that I've got my cardstock sticker sheet, and so I just want to choose one of a similar sort of size for the other pocket so that I'm creating a nice amount of balance. So I would put that on this side, and once again I'll bring in my star stickers. So I've got the medium one going in the back. I'll add my collection sticker over that. And then finish off this cluster with one more star sticker in a smaller size. Now, to further embellish, you could also add some of the sentiments here that they have. I like the smaller ones so that they fit very well. And I'm just going to attach these, making sure to have the sticker portion sticking well to the pattern paper. It's definitely not going to stick to that glitter paper, but I have it anchored well on either side, so that will stay in place. Then I'll just bring my last sticker over to this side, and I'm seeing how it will extend into that glitter paper. So I'll just add a tiny little bit of my hot glue so that it will squish down into the texture of that glitter, and I will be sure that it is well secured. Okay, so that's it for the middle of our folio. What I want to do before I begin working on the cover is I want to clip off the excess of this bow. So I'll just come at it from the other side. And now it's going to fill that corner perfectly. So for the cover, I'm going to use that same pop-up card die, but I want to use it in a slightly different way. So I've got the same pattern there, that beautiful snowflake I've been working with throughout, and I tacked on my trim here. I do want to have this to tie this closed securely. This is just a beautiful diamond stitch satin from Really Reasonable Ribbon, and I think it coordinates perfectly. So I'm bringing back that wood grain pattern. It's such a lovely layer to add warmth. And now I need to bring my ribbon trim over on to this side as well. I'll just tack this into place temporarily with a little hot glue, and then all the remaining layers will really seal that in place. So now I'm just going to bring in the largest doily die that I have in my set, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere that, and this will be the base for the remaining layers. For the pop-up portion on the front, I have elected to clip off the sides where you would fold it to create the dimensional portion onto the front, and I did go ahead and add some dimensional foam tape to the back. This is going pretty close to the top and centered left to right. And here is my layering pattern. I've got another sticker that was from the sticker sheet. I put this on a thicker cardstock and then cut it back out. I put some dimensional pieces only at the top and my double-sided adhesive at the bottom. There's an eyelet here with some twine going through, and I want the bottom to be flat so that I can capture that underneath the remaining layers of the envelope. And so I'm just pressing that into place. You see how it kind of falls over the side? That is exactly what I want it to look like. It's tucked into the envelope. And here is the front. Now, on the pop-up portion of the card, this would be adhered to be a dimensional item, but I want mine flat against the back. And so I also want to leave room along the bottom for my floral arrangement. So rather than positioning it exactly down here where it would be if it were a pop-up card, I'm bringing it all the way up to here. Before I adhere that though, I want to just tuck in one more of those sweet little stickers and then adhere this front so that I don't lose any of those sweet details of the stitched edge and the borders. Now I want to bring in my flower arrangement, and you can see how much that would have covered on the bottom there if I had positioned it where it was originally designed to be. And so I'm just going to adhere this floral arrangement with hot glue, and I just created this with my cinch and go poinsettias, some netting, loopy twine bows, and some of the die cut foliage. They're all finished with Stamens from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I picked this color because I thought it coordinated really well with those stars. Just trying to keep the fragile bits from hanging off over the side. Of course, I've got my little charms here. These are Christmas trees, and I'm going to add them here closer to the top so that they will kind of fall over the border of that envelope. Attaching that with my hot glue and covering those cut strings with a vintage button. Last but not least, I do want to add a couple of sequins here so that I can balance the charms. Okay, so that is it for our project. Now, if you want to be entered for your chance to win, there's just a few simple rules. First, you must answer the question of the day down in the comments. And second, you must be a subscriber to my channel. That's it, easy peasy. This giveaway is coming in hot, and you're going to have, from the time this video goes live until 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the 20th to enter. I will announce the winner during our video on the 22nd, and there will be one lucky winner. We're going to send them this super cute 3D sand bucket that's perfect for all the summer crafty projects. Unfortunately, due to the increase in shipping costs, this giveaway is going to be open to residents of the continental United States only, and I'm wishing good luck for all who enter, and I'm going to thank Erica from Scrap Diva Designs one more time for being so sweet and generous and working with me on today's video. So that's it for day 8 of our Christmas series. Don't forget to come back tomorrow for day 9. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to let me know in the comments and give me a big thumbs up for this tutorial. If you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. And remember, you can find links to all our socials, as well as the products I mentioned in this video, in the description below. And as always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!